versus the falsehood of what we live in.
Well, it's interesting that you say that. I'm going to touch on something because in my studies, Mickey Mouse is actually something that's subconscious. There's, there's something that's really going on there, and if you notice,
tell us more.
The artists. I mean, you have all these singers. What are their names now?
What time period we're talking about?
Now, right now, like what are the famous pop artists?
Rihanna,
Dr.
Dre,
Lady Gaga,
Gaga,
all those, everybody, right? They're all. If you really studied subliminal messages, and if you really studied the energy behind symbolism,
this is gonna get good.
In symbology,
hold to your seatbelt.
They're putting up symbols that are energetically triggered to brainwash you to think a certain way. And you can do that very simply, if you study alchemy or if you study mandalas, art in Hindu text, certain geometry and certain symbols and certain sounds and certain things are put in place in order to alter your awareness. This is just esoteric work. And
it's almost like hypnosis.
It's a form of hypnosis, which is interesting. We'll talk about that later.
Right, we talk about
It's a form of hypnosis. You hypnotize people with symbols, which is very simple. Just doing this the right way to the right person can take them out of their
which advertising and marketing does what they've been doing for decades, time immemorial,
centuries.
Yes,
they've been doing that way before. They just didn't have TV.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's all a cycle and it's always going. So what I do is I combat that with trying to cure the problem by putting the situation at hand. Right. And there's many different forms. I'm gonna branch out to different aspects. I don't want it to always be so intense,
right?
Because then it's like always beating down, and
that is too much. They'll be walking real fast by the mural,
right?
But
they won't get it.
Yeah.
So I'm also branching out. Like even in my, I'm also a hip hop artist, and I do spiritual hip hop, and I do the same thing. I studied, I was very.
Can you tell me how many songs that you've written?
Oh.
Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah. I mean,
never mind. Just go back to the other.
Yeah. I mean, written or recorded?
No, never mind. Let's skip over that.
Well, I mean,
you're a hip hop. Never mind.
But
it's okay.
But even in that, there's a science, because I was graced, because everything that has happened in my life has been because of spirit. Great spirit, consciousness, whatever you want to call it. I mean, I know how, in my own experience, what that means. And it has placed me in situations where I've been given things without a dime or a thank you in return that they don't even want it. Even if I say it, they're like, because they see what I'm doing, what I'm supposed to do, and then my path, and they just say, here. Because their spiritual guides are telling them, go ahead. And I've been graced. I was given courses on free of charge by KRI, Kundalini Research Institute, which is an organization that I'm associated with Kundalini Yoga, which I'm also a Kundalini Yoga teacher. And they gave me courses on sound vibration and how to use sound vibration to alter people's awareness by elevating it.
We can't go there. It's too much for us.
Yeah.
Too much. Not on one YouTube.
So
you're gonna get me in trouble here.
Yeah. So I do that with my music, and I also do that with my art. That was the whole purpose of that, and I've intuitively been able to just kind of channel what I'm being told to draw, what I'm being told to write, and do it in a form in order to elevate the human consciousness to have them go through an experience.
Now, since you went there, I have a tape of Rosalind Jeffries, Professor Jeffries' wife, and she's been doing some research, and part of her research in this particular clip, she talks about the waves from music, from drums, that actually, when they're channeled and they go back into the heavens, that they actually can alter and affect the planets energetically.
Well, so you could do that just by talking.
Well,
And but you just have to have the right vibration, and you have to be given the passport.
Well, this is what I'm talking about. We're talking about art, but then we're talking about the various facets of art and how it affects us as people. Right. Because it becomes very energetic now. We're speaking energetically in terms of what we create, and when we create, how it really goes out, right, and creates different waves and changes.
Well, it's like, again, manifestation, like all The Secret and all that stuff. There was a part that they didn't get into, which is what I trying to render and all this stuff, is that you can't just speak what you want into the universe and expect things to happen, and a lot of people not getting what they want, and they hustle. Is that you have to have a passport. You have to be given the right to receive these things. You can't give a machine gun to a person who's not ready to have a machine gun.
A toddler.
Yeah. Because you
loaded.
You give a machine gun to a toddler, loaded, no safety, and then show him what to do. It's over. So the watchers, energetic watchers, and my guides and everything that I do, they don't partake all the information to me yet because I'm not particularly probably ready for it. But what I am given, I share. And that's all I really am trying to do with my music and my art, my poetry, everything else that I do. So that's the whole purpose of me. That's what I do with my art. That's what I do with my life as a teacher. I'm actually going to start getting into hypnosis, and I'm going to get certified to do more of that work deeper.
Where can people reach you on social media? Where can people reach out to?
Well, right now you can get me at Victor Castillo's art page, and
you have another page too, right? Don't you have another FB page?
It's part of that page.
Oh, okay.
It's a latch off of that page. I have an art page and a music page.
Okay.
So, if you go to Facebook and you look at Victor Castillo's art page, you should be able to find me and request me. Now, there's another artist, interesting. His name is Victor Castillo, and he's Latino, and he does similar work, but it's not exactly. It's pretty interesting. You see how it works? The universe does that.
Right.
So, like, he does. I didn't really get deep into it, but I was getting energetically that he's somewhat connected with what he does. But he does these. They look like Mickey Mouse almost.
Really?
Kind of. Not just because they're always black.
But they have a
they have a mask.
Symbol.
They wear a mask. Okay. They all have a caricature mask, like the sad face and the happy face.
Okay.
They're wearing a mask like that, and they all have red noses. All of them. All of his art is like that. It was pretty interesting. When I saw that, I was like, wow. Because the personality is a mask. So, somewhere energetically he's picking up. I don't think I got that when I asked guidance that he doesn't know exactly why he's doing that. He has his own way of thinking, psychologically why he thinks he's doing it, but subconsciously he's actually putting out that information.
So he's like tapped into it, but
he doesn't really understand what
fully.
He's tapping. Yeah, I got that. I asked, but it's interesting how he has the same name. He's Latino. He's in Mexico, I think, right now, and he does masks. He puts masks. It's pretty interesting. He doesn't do this type of work, but it's pretty interesting. You should look it up. But yeah, so that's what I do. I'm on Facebook. You can also find me on ReverbNation.com. Just look up Victor Castillo there, and I have 3 tracks. I had them all up before, but it was too much and it was too overwhelming. So now I just have a sample of 3 tracks, and just look that out. I'm gonna come out with an album soon. It's gonna be interesting as well.
We look forward to it, man.
Yeah.
Keep doing your work. And we're gonna see you soon in Newark in some of the exhibits.